Hey guys, welcome to Intermediate Algebra. So a couple things you need to know getting started. All right, so when you first get here, you want to click the Start Here button, and that's going to take you to this assignment where you get the Ranger Ready access code. That Ranger Ready course should be on your dashboard. You go in, you work through it, you fill it out, and then you'll get a code at the end of it, and you'll put that code in here. You need that code to get access to the rest of the course. So do that, and then you'll hit Next, and it takes you to the welcome page. All right, the welcome page tells you a little bit about me. All right, in Intermediate Algebra, I have a set of notes that we're going to walk through together. You can print or download it right here, and so you can follow along. You have a little bit of information about how to work in this course and how to approach an online course. Not everybody does well in an online course, so you need to do all the following things, and then see if you're and judge for yourself whether or not you're ready to embark on the online class. All right, if you are, then you want to do the student responsibility quiz. All right, and then you want to get access to Pearson, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And then of course you have your midterm and final, both of which are proctored. Scheduling, you want to either do it the week of, or we can always do it early, but we can't do it after that window closes. So you want to make sure when the announcements go out to sign up and stuff like that, you want to make sure you get in and get it signed up and get on that as soon as possible. And as far as your personal life goes, like, make sure you block out time for that. And if life happens, it happens, but you want to make sure you're not double booking yourself or anything like that. So, all right. And then the next button there would take you to the student responsibility quiz. But let's back up for a second and talk about syllabus. So you come through here. All right, so both on the home page here in the syllabus and several other places that I'll show you, you can click this book meeting button and it'll take you to my calendar. And you can put yourself in my calendar. I'm always in my office unless I'm in class. So here's kind of an overview of what you want to talk about. Pearson. One thing I'll say about Pearson, and the very next thing, once we get through the syllabus, I'll show you how to get into Pearson. But when you pay for this class, you paid for Pearson. So you don't need to pay for it again. If you, by some chance, pay for it again, that's out of your pocket, and I can't do anything about that. But you've already paid for it. So, I don't know. Again, once I get through talking about the syllabus, I'll show you how to get access to Pearson. All right. Let's see. No makeup exams. In this class, you're only allowed to use scientific calculators. It cannot be scientific with graphing capabilities. It cannot be graphing calculators. The bookstore on campus, that's the one on the far right here. It's a good calculator. It just needs to be scientific. No graphing calculators whatsoever. So I would get one and use it while I'm doing homework. So if you already have a graphing calculator, I love that for you, but you're not going to be able to use it on the finals or the midterms. So I would not get in the habit of using it on a regular basis. So no late work. All right. Technology is great when it works, and it's terrible when it doesn't. And usually when it doesn't work, it's at the most inconvenient time. So you want to make sure that that is not going to catch you. So what I mean by that is you don't want to wait. All of your due dates are on Sunday. You don't want to wait till Sunday to get everything done. You want to make sure that you get it done early, and give yourself time to improve your grade or whatever. You can actually work your homework as many times as you want to improve your grade, to get the grade that you want until it closes. And then afterwards, you should be able to work it just for practice. All right. So, but you don't want to wait until the weekend to get all your homework done, especially not Sunday, because if internet's down or Pearson's not working for some reason, that's not an excuse for me to open it back up. If life happens, I can work with you, but it is life these days for technology to just kind of crap out on us from time to time. There are a few ways to get extra credit in this class. The access code that you start with that I mentioned earlier, that's going to give you some bonus points. The student responsibility quiz gives you bonus points. Each time you take a midterm or final, they both have separate proctored exam agreements. You go through and you check all those boxes. They have to be done before you sit for the final. And so you want to make sure you get those done. Those are kind of mandatory. So these first three are mandatory, and then the second three are optional. So once you schedule your exam, you can schedule go take your reservation information and plug it into the midterm exam time assignment. There's also a separate one for the final exam time. And so once you book your appointment, take your reservation information and submit it to me. That way I know who's booked it and who's not, and I can keep up with it that way. And then at some point in this course, you're going to be notified that it's time to take the course evaluation. Once it goes live, you'll have about 2 weeks to do it. And once it goes live, the quiz will go live. And the thing is, the course evaluation is about me as a teacher. It's anonymous. So even if I could see the results, I couldn't see who did what. And so I want to know that you've done it. So once you get to the end, either take a screenshot, or I think they send an email saying, hey, good job. Thanks for completing, or thanks for your time. And you can take that email or the screenshot and submit it to that course evaluation quiz, and I will give you points for that. The second feedback quiz is, I'm always trying to put my best foot forward when it comes to how I structure things in Canvas. I'm always looking to make it the best product possible and stand out. So if you have any feedback, good or bad, please feel free to, it's 10 simple questions, and I'll give you points just for doing it. All right, so you can deliver good news or bad news, but if it's bad news, just provide a little grace to there. Don't be mean. So all those are ways to get extra credit. This is an online class. It's 15 weeks long, so you get 4 absences. So you get 3 absences. I will be emailing you to your student email. So I communicate with, if you email me through Canvas Inbox, I'll respond in Canvas Inbox. If I need to reach out the whole class, I'll either send out an announcement, or I'll send out I'll send out an announcement, or I'll send out a class-wide blast through Canvas. But if I'm emailing you directly and I'm initiating the conversation, then I'm going to be using your student email, which is Outlook. All right, so if you don't have access to that, you need to get that. So when I send these emails about absences and stuff like that, I will be sending you those emails to your Outlook. Okay, and this link is live, but if you lose access, if I have to cut you out for absences, you lose access to Canvas. This link will be provided in those emails that warn you, hey, you're running out of absences. Hey, you're out of absences. You don't need to miss anymore. So, and because this is online and all your access and all your homework and stuff lives here, you want to get that done quickly and back into class. I take attendance once a week for this class, and just have you done the work for the week and if you've done something, then I give you credit for it in attendance. So you have a little bit of time, but it's a one and done. Once you appeal and you get back in the class, you can't miss anymore. So you have a few absences to play with. So you have, but if you miss too much, you will get cut out. You can't appeal, and if you get back in, you can't miss anymore. So there's that. Your homework only accounts for your 25% of your grade. All right, so with that said, you can't pass this class on homework alone. So for that reason, I have adopted a policy in my classes, and this is my policy, not school policy or department policy. I've adopted the policy that you can use AI to help tutor you in your math homework. All right, you're not going to have it for your final or your midterm, so don't get accustomed to it. And it's not meant to do it for you, it's meant to help you learn. That's why I'm allowing it on the homework and homework only. Okay, and here's what I recommend. I recommend having at least 2, maybe 3 chatbots going at the same time. Plug the problem in, see if it spits out the same answer. If all of them give you the same answer, it's probably right. If it's a more complicated problem, where maybe a word problem or something like that, maybe they work it differently. If they work it differently, that's actually, and still get the same answer, that's good for you, because you can see two different ways to do it. And a good teacher shows you every way to do a problem, not just their favorite way. Okay, so that is something you can use. All right, you have discussions. You have 2 discussions. You have introduction in the first week, and then right after the midterm, you have math in real life. And then again, your exams are there. Here's your fall calendar, so you can take a look at that. Tutoring. So I mentioned you have your AI. You also have in-person tutoring on campus. The nearest campus to you is Senatobia, DeSoto, or Oxford. This is their schedule. It is 11 to 2, not 11 to 3. But you can go in and get help with it get help with that. You can reach out to me as well. If you want to reach out to me, you can get help. That's totally fine. So you have me, you have AI, you have Math Lab tutoring, and if none of that works, you also have BrainFuse online tutoring, which is right here in the syllabus. It's also right here in the sidebar, and you can. This allows you to book an appointment with a live person 24/7 online. So that is also something that you can check out. All right. The rest of this is pretty boilerplate. I will say this: if you have accommodations, all right, those do not take effect until all parties, student and teachers, have signed all the necessary documents. And if you think you need accommodations, you need to reach out to your local student support services. On the DeSoto campus here, where I'm at, is Miss Terry Reeves, and she's on the 3rd floor. And you can, Missy Kelsey on the Senatobia campus, and then the Oxford campus is Betsy Grubbs. So you can reach out to them and say, hey, I need accommodations. They'll ask for all your paperwork, you submit it, and then again, they don't take effect until all parties have signed it, and only then will they do that. Okay, so there's that. And then, so that's pretty much everything for the syllabus. All right, so let's talk about how to get access to Pearson. All right, like I said, you've already paid for it. So what you want to do is, as soon as you get in here, is you want to go to course materials, and it's going to give you an icon, and it's going to say launch courseware. You're going to click that button, and that's going to take you to a page where there's an access code. You're going to copy that access code to your clipboard, and then you're going to come back over here and go to Access Pearson. Click on this link. That once it shows up, click on that link. It'll look different for you because I'm the teacher, but you will sign in. If you used Pearson before, use the same account. If you've never used Pearson before, please use your student email. All right, so you'll sign in, you'll paste in that course or that access code, and then you're good. I do recommend, if for some reason Canvas is down, I recommend once you get into Pearson, bookmark it, and that way it's accessible on your bookmarks bar, and you can access it without Canvas should you need to do so. Okay, so that's how you get access to Pearson. You go to course materials, get the code, go back to Pearson, sign in, and drop in, paste in the access code, and then you're good. All right, so let's talk about due dates. So we have due dates here, and everything's laid out for you. The first week, you got the student responsibility quiz, the first discussion, and for every discussion, you want to make sure that you post by Wednesday, otherwise it's late, and you want to make sure that you, so you want to give everybody an opportunity to get their responses in, so that's why I asked that you do everything early. Okay, and then you have whatever assignments are due that week, or whatever assignments are covered that week, those are your homework assignments for that week as well. So in the first week, you have 2.3, 2.7, 3.1. In week 2, you have 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. All right. And then, like I said, I take attendance once a week. All right. So if you have done one of these items, I give you credit for week 1. If you've done one of these items, I give you credit for week 2. Your midterm is week 7. And so it opens on Monday, and you need to get it done by Thursday so I can get grades done by Friday. One other thing about your exams is the grades will not immediately be posted. So once they should be posted by that Friday, but once all grades are done, I make any adjustments I'm going to make, and then I will post the grades all at once. So once you sit and take it and you finish and submit it, you will not see a grade just yet. All right, and then like I said, right after the midterm, you have your second discussion, and then your final is that last week. It opens on the 30th. It needs to be done by the 3rd so that I can get grades done by the 4th. The 4th, that last Friday before we go on break, is usually December graduations, so I got to get grades done. So you want to make sure that you schedule your exam early and everything like that, so I can get grades done and completed. All assignments are due on Sunday at midnight of whatever week they're given. So you want to make sure that you're aware of that. So this is pretty straightforward. Your midterm is everything up to like everything up to that point, and then your final is comprehensive. All right. let's take a look at modules. Oh, before I go there, this is another place where you can book time with me. So it's right here. It's in the home page. It's in the syllabus, and it's also in modules. So go to modules. We have everything we talked about before: the access code assignment, the welcome page, student responsibility quiz. All right. So every week is kind of laid out the same. You have your notes, and then you have whatever assignments you do that week, and the due dates are also right here. Okay. So just click into this. At the top right of every module, you have this right here. It's another place to book time with me. You have a little bit of an overview of what we're covering this week. All right, what's required this week, and then each week, each section has a set of notes that goes with it, and so you click on that, and that will give you the answers for that section. If they're my videos, then they will be going over the notes packet that I have in the welcome page, and the answers will follow along. So it's a good way to check yourself on that. And so you have that. So for this week, all the videos are mine. Sometimes they may not be mine. In that situation, they would not necessarily follow along with the notes, but it would be enough to get you through your homework. Okay, so this is pretty much how everything looks. So let's take a look at the midterm. So, and one other thing, just a little helpful hint for you. Once you're done with one of these, you can collapse this, and that will make, by the time we get to the midterm, that'll make scrolling to get to the midterm a lot easier on yourself and stuff like that. So just a helpful on that. When you get to the midterm, so this is week 7, so you have complete the proctored exam to open everything else up. So you have to complete all the items here, and you have to do them in order. So the first thing you need to do, everything's going to be grayed out, and so you do the proctored exam agreement. So you can't access the review or anything else or the sign up until you do the proctored exam agreement. All right, so you want to make sure you do that. And then the midterm sign up, it will open on a certain date. If you're going to take it on campus with an instructor, you would do the sign up Genius. If you're going to do if a campus is local to you, but you're within the state of Mississippi, you can do through Smarter Proctoring, and here's some videos on how to do that. And then if you're out of state, if you're outside of Mississippi, you need to get approval, and this is how you would do that. You would need to find a campus near you and reach out to them, try to schedule something with them, and they would need to fill out, the proctor who you're trying to get to test you would need to fill out this form, and the e-learning department would need to approve that. And so you want to make sure that you have that done in plenty of time. And then again, you have that bonus assignment. So once you booked your time, you want to go ahead and do this assignment and get some bonus points for that. And that's just taking all your reservation information and letting me know, hey, I booked my time. All right. So the final is pretty much set up the same way. So that was the sign up, and then you have the midterm review. So let's see what to bring. The calculator policy again, your review. So you have a study guide, the answers to the study guide, and me working the study guide, and then some frequently asked questions. How many questions are there? What's the format? 75 questions, or 75 minutes rather, 35% of your grade, because the midterm and final make up 70% of your grade, so we split that, and then other things you might want to know or have questions about. And these, again, everything leading up to the midterm is what's on the midterm, and here's a list of those topics, and then the final is comprehensive. So everything in the final looks very much the same as that. And one other thing I'll say is that the course evaluation quiz shows up here in week 11. That's when it's due, but it'll open 2 weeks earlier. So it'll open in week 9, and it'll be due in week 11. And then the Canvas feedback quiz is open now and will be closed right before you do your final. So that last week before your final, that's when you want to make sure that that's done. All right? All right, guys. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out, and I will see you soon.